Hey everyone! Right now I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do your regional posters for week 7. So the first thing you're going to want to do is to open up your Google Drive. And again, the easiest way to access that is by going through your email account, because then you get this nifty little black bar at the top and you click on Drive and it's going to open up a page that looks like this with any folders you've created and any previous documents that you've made. The next step is to click the Create button. From here, the easiest way to make a poster is to select the drawing tool, which we used earlier in the semester when we made our community maps. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. Now I get my blank slate that I get to work with. First thing I want to do is to rename from Untitled Drawing and make this a little bit more specific. So I'm going to do a sample Midwest poster and then hit OK once I've named it. And now, even though I have my title here, I still want to put a title on my poster itself. So we're going to be flipping back and forth between using different types of tools for this assignment. So the first thing I want to do is add my title. So the easiest way to do that is by using the text box. So I click on that, and then basically I use my cursor to click and hold, and then I drag to draw my box where I want it to be. Once I have my box, now I can type let's do the Midwest, and you can come up with something more creative if you'd like. Now, while I'm in here, I can edit text just like I normally would. So I can have fun with changing the text color. So maybe I want it to be red. I can also make it bold, and I can also change the size of it. Okay, and I can also reshape my text box to shrink it down a little bit. I can click on it and move it however I want. I also, if you look at this little dot here, this allows me, if I click on it, to turn my heading or my text box if I want to. So I'm going to go ahead and put it back to even again there and leave it up there at the top. So now I have my title. Well, the assignment directions state that I also need to have 3 key cities from the Midwest on my poster. So if I want to do, let's say, Milwaukee, Chicago, and Detroit are the first 3 Midwestern cities that come to mind. I'm probably going to want to use a text box again, and I'm just going to type Milwaukee, and I can mess with formatting later. Click on the text tool again, and do Chicago, and then text tool, and Detroit. Now so far my poster looks kind of boring. So one way that we're going to spruce up our posters is to add some visuals. So one easy way to do that is through Google Images. So you see I already have Google Images open here. If I would have started at Google, I just clicked on the Images button right here, and that brought up Google Images. So now if I type in Milwaukee, I get some cool pictures of the city of Milwaukee. So let's say I'm going to use, I want something that's not too big in size because otherwise it takes a long time to load. Let's just go ahead and use this. I'm going to right click, copy the image, go back to my poster, click, right click, and paste. And you can see it's creating the image there up at the top. And that's a little too big because I still have lots of other info that I have to put on here. So I'm going to shrink that down. I can move it. Again, I can play with my colors of my font. I can twist my word so it's up here. I can put my picture up here, and I can rotate that as well. Okay, so I can put that up there. There's my Milwaukee picture. I can shrink it down, move that over. Then I can go back, and let's say I need something now for Chicago. And maybe I want to do something different with this, and maybe I just want the skyline. And maybe I want a certain type. Maybe I want this to be a line drawing. Or maybe I want it to be clip art. Okay, so you can always play with the features that way. with the search tools in Google. So once this image loads here, I can copy the image, go back to my Google Doc, paste, and here's my skyline of Chicago. Once again, I can resize that, I can twist it, put it up here. This is excellent practice for learning how to use tech tools. I can keep that nice and small so I have room for other things, twist that and throw it up there. Okay, perfect. And then I could go about finding something for Detroit as well. For now, I'm just going to move that to the side. The other things that I need to do are 3 geographic features. So one thing that exists in the Midwest that's a major geographic feature would be the Great Lakes. So if I close out of this and go back and search for a new image, and if I just actually go back to images here, type Great Lakes, and I like this one because it has Great Lakes in it, which means I don't need to add a text box that says Great Lakes, and then I can just paste that there. And then again, I can resize it. Here's my Great Lakes information. And then another thing that you probably want to be doing at the same time that you're actually doing your poster is have a second document open for you to start doing your image sources. So if I actually go back and hit Create Document, I could name this Regional Poster Sources, and then right here I could do the Midwest, and then maybe we'll do the Great Lakes poster. And what I do is when I find my image, I right click on it again, I copy the image URL, and then I paste that right into my document here. So that's right there. And then I would just go about listing all of these. So you can see I sorted it by poster. I could make that stand out more, bold, underline. I could change the size of the font so that it fits a little bit better on the page. Okay, so I can have them listed there just in a row. And that's how you would keep track of your sources. Then when it comes time to submit these files to the gradebook, you'd actually be submitting 5 separate files. You'd be posting the links for 5 files in your comment box before you hit the submit button. So if I go back to my poster, there's something for a geographic feature, and I would have to do 2 more geographic features for the Midwest. And then I also need to include cultural features. And one thing that I gave as an example in the assignment instructions would be dairy farming. And my images, it was not sorting properly there. I couldn't turn off my clip art. So here's dairy farming, and you can go through and select, oh, that one's kind of big. Here's something better. Picture of some cows. Again, I'm going to copy my image. I'm going to bring it over here. And if the image isn't clear what it's showing, you always want to make sure that you add a text box with a little caption or a title. And so you can see it's creating the image here. Sometimes, depending on the image size, it might take a little bit longer. And you may even, like I did here, get an error. If that's the case, then just go back and try to find a different picture and see if that works out a little bit better. So here's one that's not too big. I'm going to copy that image and try to paste that here. And there's my dairy farming picture. So we'll shrink that down again, and then maybe I will add a text box here just so my teacher knows for sure what my picture is all about. Okay, and then I would continue adding 3 more cultural features. So when you are all done, you have 3 cities, 3 geographic features, and 4 cultural features. Now remember, there are 4 regions in the United States, so when you're done with one poster on the Midwest, then you're going to be making 3 more for the other regions in the United States. Keep in mind you have a lot of time to work on this week because you do not have any new reading or practice quizzes to do. So check the assignment instructions for a sample of a finished Midwest poster, and if you have any questions or need help with anything, just let me know.